Really started it all for me, and it's kind of the end of it all, as this is kind of the last proper vlog that I'll be doing on the channel, and no better spot to do it than from Cedar Point, 5 years into the game. We're here on the first preview day for the premium pass holders on a Tuesday on a hot April day, as I'm already sweating and in a t-shirt here in Ohio in April, which doesn't seem to really make sense, but I'm not going to complain. There's a lot of rides cycling with water dummies and kind of opening up. So I'll cover a couple things that I haven't done in a while, i.e. Corkscrew behind me and Power Tower. I haven't been on in probably a decade. It doesn't look like everything is kind of open, so Gemini we won't get on today. I'm not sure if Maverick or Steel Vengeance are open. That whole area is closed off, even though I did see some runs occurring earlier. But for now, it's just gonna enjoy Cedar Point and relatively a empty park, which is really kind of a shocking thing to experience. But again, who's complaining? Not me. We do have to put the camera away at a certain point, and actually to get on that ride, they did hand out these tickets, which they give you a selective window of when you can actually get in to Top Thrill 2. I don't know what the situation is for re-rides, because they only gave me one ticket. I asked some questions. It looks like it will create a general admission situation if they don't have enough tickets handed out later on. First ride on Top Thrill 2 is done. Now, the ride is now down. It's been an hour since I actually went on it, and it actually had been running very efficiently for the entire time, up until my cycle, and then a couple, say half an hour later, unfortunately it's had some downtime, as you see a couple runs with the train empty. I got a back seat as my very first ride. If you ask nicely and there's not too many people, they do have a little bit of a partition for the front and the back queues to allow a couple extra rows of people waiting. So if you ask nicely, like I did, and they appreciated that, I got onto the back. What have I got to say? Honestly, it's really hard to give an impression after only one ride, but that ride was definitely incredible. I was blown away by it. I was so happy. I'd heard some things about it being rough. I didn't really notice that much, to be honest. It certainly was less rough than what the original Dragster was back in the day. That backwards launch is phenomenal. It is the best backwards launch out there without question, and the spike that follows, the floater that you get up at the top of that spike, it really is unbelievable and really can only be experienced in its full force in the back. Tremendous ride. A lot of people trying to get to the front and to the middle of the train, but I honestly think that there is going to be no better seat than that. First launch was a little tepid. Definitely leaves you begging for more after what you experienced from Top Thrill originally. But that backwards launch, it just keeps going, and then you just float up that spike. I'm actually really surprised by how much time you spend up there as the train just crests so easily and then comes back down for super floater in the back without question. And then finally you do that final launch, which is really insane and as much as you'd expect it to be. Definitely not as intense as the original launch, that's for sure, but definitely remarkable. You are up at the top without even noticing it, and yeah, suddenly you're being pulled down the other side. So definitely worthwhile getting up there to ride the back, because as far as I'm concerned, that was the best seat. You get a tiny bit of floater at the top. I wouldn't call it ejector, I'd call it a tiny bit of floater, as it didn't really take the top too fast. But then once you get over that section, it really whips you through that twisting drop real fast, to the point where I almost grabbed onto the restraints because it was just flipping us out of the train. As much as you remember is just as good. So yeah, top quality ride. Definitely not sure if it's in my top 25 yet. It may creep in, to be honest, but at this point I definitely would like to get another ride on it at a different point in the train to give a full sort of retrospective of what I feel about the ride. But so far it was definitely worth driving 5.5 hours here just for that one seat ride. Yeah, I'll say it as it is, because it was definitely worth it to me. All right, I'm going to carry on and see what I can get out of the rest of the day here, as there's only about a couple hours left in the event. Maybe get a ride on Corkscrew, as I haven't done that yet, and then wrap up the night here at the pass preview here at Cedar Point.
I don't know. Please, you guys are out of here. I'll see you back here real soon. Bye. Alright, guys on the platform, please take this time to secure all your loose items. Please remain seated, facing forward in an upright position, holding on to the right. And if you're ready to run.
train in my original review, and that train is unbelievable. It's so sexy. It reminds me of the train on Steel Dragon 3000. If you've been on that ride, and you know that weird B&M hybrid train that they built for that, it reminds me a lot of this train with those massive wheels and the crazy sort of very airy chassis, if you will. The train is very lean. It's got a spoiler on it. It really does feel like you're getting into a race car with a bit of a Mac feel to it, seat-wise. Super comfortable, excellent restraints, no complaints whatsoever on the restraint system. It's definitely top-notch, and I'm looking forward to getting on these Lightning trains in Vancouver for our own version, or mini version, of this ride when it opens in BC in July. Didn't mention it earlier, but it's definitely worth mentioning that Magnum, as far as I know, has got some new effects in that final tunnel. I've had a front and a back ride on it. It is really still one of the top class ejector airtime machines in the world. It's ridiculous. Like, there's just points where you're just like, oh my god, like you're just popped so forcefully out of your seat. Definitely heavily trimmed halfway through, unfortunately. I think I've only had one ride ever on this with it not trimmed. I don't even want to think about what it would be like, because that second half would still be uncontrollable with it not trimmed. Excellent ride. Still as good as the day that I rode it. Maybe a little bit jankier, but what can you expect for a ride over 30 years old? TT2 is running again, but yeah, it's been down for about 20 minutes, so I'm just going to get a couple of other shots, and then we'll officially wrap it up here on the vlog. That is a wrap for past preview day here at Cedar. See, I can't even say it. Cedar Point, Top Thrill 2. Got myself a button even. Very happy. Obviously didn't get more than one ride on it. You know, if you overhear some of the conversations, some people were switching tickets and stuff, and obviously some of the pass holders know each other. So at the end of the day, there was a little bit of haggling going on when it comes to that. So if I had better resources, I probably would have got another ride, but definitely had a couple of downtimes throughout the course of today. And then we have things teasing us in the background, like Steel Vengeance doing test runs, Gatekeeper doing test runs. So really, realistically, we have to come back at some point this year to do a full complement of the rides. But at least we got that one ride in, and I can give a genuine review of how it was, maybe after a couple more rides. But I did my review earlier. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And now I got to get onto the road. 5-hour drive home. All right, thanks for dropping in.